Saudi Arabia's King Abdullah. Saudi Arabia, one of our biggest allies in the Gulf, which doesn't let women vote or drive, but that's a different topic altogether, has introduced a series of new laws which defines atheists as terrorists. And this is according to a report from the Human Rights Watch. And the laws basically have come into play because of the growing number of Saudis that are traveling into Syria to fight in the civil war there. And then they're returning to Syria with newfound thoughts on freedom, and they now have all these new military skills. And the monarchy is basically afraid that all of these new ideas is going to cause what's happening in Syria to happen in Saudi Arabia. Let's look at Royal Decree 44. It criminalizes participating in hostilities outside the kingdom with prison sentences of between 3 and 20 years. Article 1 of the new provisions define terrorism as calling for atheist thought in any form or calling into question the fundamentals of the Islamic religion on which this country is based. I thought, as a Star Wars guy, I thought it was funny they're calling it Royal Decree 44, which sounds so much like Order 66, which is where they killed all the Jedi, but I don't have to tell you two that. Okay, we've got two atheists here, right? I mean, I know you well enough, and I know your work well.
Wait, are you not an atheist too? I'm going to flip the script here. Do we have 3 atheists here?
I don't believe that there's somebody up there judging me, but I believe in the Force, basically. But I don't think I believe that there's something. I believe there's something happening here that I can't really explain. But I don't
believe that.
Yeah, so
do you believe in God?
I don't think God cares how much I jerk off or that kind of thing. He's not
like a deist.
Yeah, I think God, whatever you want to call God, probably created this little universe and now is creating some other fun ones. And he's not watching this crap factory.
Even as a deist, I think you'd be like in trouble with the Saudis.
Oh, I'm sure the Saudis would not be thrilled with a gay Jew.
I don't think they'll make a distinction.
I don't think so. Okay. All right. So as atheists, is this the most bonkers thing you've ever heard?
I love that I can be a terrorist without doing anything.
I know. It's literally, atheism is less than Christian. Like it's doing less than being religious. It is a lack of belief. So literally, without doing anything, making any decisions, having any belief system or insights into anything, we're terrorists.
But can you understand why a monarchy that has so much control of their people and, as I said, doesn't let women vote or drive yet, can you understand why that in a weird way is more of a threat? I can sort of see why they'd see that concept as more of a threat than actually terrorism. In a weird way.
It's a theocracy. This is the problem with living under a theocracy, is that you're going to have legislation in place that's morally directed, that's fundamentally based on your specific religious values, and it's going to, by its very nature, target individuals that don't fit into that box. And look at what's happening right now in Brunei, where the Sultan of Brunei has passed Sharia law in this country. I mean, it's fucking insane. Like I'd much rather go.
You can chop off someone's hand now for stealing something.
If I go to Brunei, like I will be put to death in 5 minutes. Like I will figure out how to break some sort of law that will,
they'd kill you on the
They'd
plane.
execute, exactly. Yeah. And so I'd rather go to Saudi Arabia, but these are shades of shit, is what we're talking about right now. And yes.
By the way, are you boycotting the Beverly Hotel? Because
the Beverly Hills,
is it the Beverly Hills Hotel? Because that's owned by the Sultan of Brunei.
Yeah, because I generally spend a lot of money at the Beverly Hills Hotel. Right. It's an easy boycott for me. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think these are all shades of the same thing. If we talk about oppression of women and we talk about oppression of atheistic values, what we're really talking about is a theocracy trying to maintain its religious values, which are patriarchy and kind of core, power in the hands of the rich, in the hands of the people who can use these kind of religious codes to control the decisions that the lesser thans in the. I mean, it's a fucking age-old story. It's depressing as shit that we're living in 2014 and we're seeing this, but this doesn't surprise me that Saudi Arabia makes these decisions. What pisses me off is that they're a strong ally of America, same as Brunei, by the way. We're an ally of a country with Sharia law, and that's all because they have oil.
So that's the next thing I wanted to bring up. And without getting into major geopolitical discussion, do we have to reevaluate some of our alliances on some of these places that have such horrific human rights, where they're literally stoning gay people to death and for the third time now, women can't vote and drive. I mean, it's such fundamental, basic, simple human rights. Do we have to reevaluate who we're friends with, even though, yeah, they've got a lot of oil, and apparently we like oil around here?
Yeah, I was actually just going to pose that question to you guys because it's like a really touchy subject, but I find it hard to imagine that I'm in a country that's supporting that type of environment for people. I feel so bad. I get messages from people all the time from the Middle East, and they're scared to even write me the message because if somebody were to see it, they could be executed. Yeah. So for people to have to live in that, or people who are being killed because they're gay, like I just don't understand why we would, you know, use money as enough of an incentive to support that type of environment.
And that's the problem. We're so entrenched in this kind of American exceptionalism and this political, like, whatever my country thinks, I think too, that we actually use phrases like, why do we support? I don't fucking support this, but my government does. And that's unfortunate for a lot of people because it makes us look on the world stage like we are willing to turn the other way. We're willing to turn the other way about these human rights violations.
Which we are.
Exactly, and that's the real problem. I'm not.
Right.
But as a nation we are, and that's basically because of what you said. It's that dependence on oil. And I think that if we got to a place where we were less dependent on fossil fuels, and I'm not even about foreign fossil fuels, but fossil fuels in general, and we really embraced a more green movement, which is helpful for a million reasons. It's helpful to the economy, it's helpful to the environment. I mean, there's only positive side effects of making these decisions. This wouldn't be a conversation. Obama would immediately be like, fuck you guys, we're not gonna give you aid anymore, not until you lift this ban, or not until you stop, killing people for their beliefs.
Wow, so even Obama's not above politics. I can't believe it.
What?
I just can't believe it. All
Amazing.
right, final thought on this, because we're talking about atheism. What do you guys personally say to the people that say there are no atheists in foxholes? So the people that say on your deathbed, you are gonna retract everything you believe.
That's a bunch of bullshit.
Take it away,
That's horrible. That's horrible. I know that Christopher Hitchens spoke a lot about this whenever he was dying.
Yeah.
He definitely didn't take back anything that he said. And I think that that's really an insult to your intelligence, saying you obviously can't hold your beliefs true because if you were in this situation, you throw it all away. So you're almost in a phase until you need God or religion or something, and that's just insulting to your character and your intelligence.
Yeah, it's also putting such a strange onus on the atheist, I always think. Like, they can believe everything they believe in for their entire life, except for the last second, they're going to switch it to the last second. Like,
it's just one more way for them to say, we're right and you're wrong, because one day you're going to agree with me.
And the truth is, if we were raised in a nation where religion was never taught, where there was no cultural bias toward religion, and then we went to war for our country, and then we found ourselves in a foxhole, we wouldn't make up the concept of God. Like, we're atheists by default. Religion is indoctrinated into us. So, of course, some people go back to their earlier mentalities because they were raised that way. But I don't know any atheists who, in the late stages of life, who were never exposed to religion, who are all of a sudden like, I'm going to invent some sort of religion as a means of feeling safe and comfortable.
I was just going to bring that up. I've met a lot of people who are raising their kids without religion, and I've had a conversation with a kid, and they're like, I just don't understand how people think these crazy things. I don't believe in Santa Claus anymore, and I just think it's really important if people could just step back and imagine that they never had that indoctrination. Imagine that they never were brought up with religion, and then tell yourself the religion story again, whether you're Muslim or Christian or whatever you are. It would sound ridiculous. So I want to ask those people who ask me what I would do on my deathbed. Well, why on your deathbed aren't you going to start praying to Allah? If you're a Christian,
Because you could be wrong.
Might as well cover all the bases.
Yeah, and that's a common thing that they say kind of in atheist circles, which is that we're all atheists. I just go one God deeper.